even within a particular conference at the Division I level also, there can be a wide range in terms of whether programs are fully funded or not. Prior to transferring to Johns Hopkins, I actually played at a small Division I school, Mount St. Mary's College in Emmitsburg, Maryland, and we had one scholarship on our team. We had 30 baseball players on our roster. In our conference, which was the Northeast Conference, we did have some fully funded programs in there. It makes it unbelievably difficult to compete with some of those schools. And I know that even within the Big East, which is thought of as a pretty prominent conference at the Division I level, not all the baseball programs there are fully funded. There's a good disparity in how those baseball programs are viewed within their own athletic departments.
And I'd say, oh, go ahead.
Rick, I was just going to say this, too, for a lot of the parents out there, there's going to be partial scholarships and grants and work study and loans, and it's important for the parents to understand what they all are. For example, if you get from one school, say $12,000, which is half of the tuition every year, that $12,000 is going to be not going to be half a scholarship every year as tuition goes up. Whereas if you get a scholarship that says a half of tuition, just a little small thing in the language of the grant like that can mean thousands of dollars in the 4 years. So it's really important to go over with the coach and everybody with a real sharp pencil exactly what's free, what you have to pay back, and what might change when tuition goes up.
Great, that's it. That's terrific and good discussion. I'm going to move us on to maybe a bigger picture point here. So, and you mentioned it a little bit, Bill. From your experience all in your coaching careers and administrative careers, when you talk to people in the business world, either your former athletes or just folks you know in the business world, how do they think about kids who spend time in college athletics? I mean, does it help them, hurt them? Do they get categorized as jocks? I mean, how does that affect them post-college? Anyone?
Well, I think one of the things I've heard from some of our alums who, you know, are heads of businesses and so forth, is that they really like student athletes because they know that they've been forced to multitask, and they know that all the different demands of their time have forced them to get creative and to be disciplined, and oftentimes as well, businesses are looking for people who already understand what it takes to work within a team structure. People who are selfless enough to be willing to put the goals of a group ahead of their own personal needs, and people who are tough enough mentally to get through moments of adversity. And I think those are lessons that are taught on a daily basis, and that's why I think student athletes are valued that way.
They've learned so much. Time management is probably the biggest thing that our student athletes that we have can take into the business world with them. And Drexel is kind of unique in the fact that it's a co-op university. And after the freshman year, they're only in school for 6 months. And the other 6 months, they're out working the job that's given to them by the university in their field of study. But that, and the money they earn from that is their money. It helps to supplement their income, or supplement their parents, what the parents are paying, or they can, if they have a scholarship, God bless them, then they can use it towards their own expenses. But they learn so much about themselves, and the companies, they find that their look on what their job is, it's just what they've accrued from being a participant in the athletic program.
And the flip side of that too is, or another aspect of that is the networking that you get from being a collegiate athlete. And so the alumni who played your sport, the alumni of the university, they want to help you out however they can. I can tell you that our players have a huge leg up in the job market. I mean, we have direct pipelines into certain fields, and I get calls and emails all the time from my alums who are working in areas and who want to hire our kids, the other Princeton alums who want to hire our players. So there's no question that all the things you guys talked about are the reasons why, and then you join that with your alumni network, and they're so tied into the student athletes. They take such pride in that.
And Rick, we get letters all the time from non-alums who are just hiring, and they want student athletes. They figured that out, that they're mentally tough, that they've had to know how to work with a variety of diverse people, that they have discipline, all of those kind of skills, life skills programs that we all give at our universities, and they have that advantage. And they'll ask for a list of people to interview. So I think that's a great advantage.
Terrific. Good. Well, we're gonna wrap up this portion of the panel by just asking each of you if, you know, any comments you feel like you would like to make. I've heard lots of great messages tonight about a variety of topics, but is there any sort of final parting advice you'd give to a student or a parent of a student who's considering college athletics? Maybe Chris, if you would start.
I guess I'd say one thing we haven't touched on, and it's really big in our sport right now, is this whole notion of peer pressure and parental pressure, and everybody so nervous and fearful, and the pace has accelerated to such a crazy level, so kids are making decisions and they still have 2 high school seasons left to go. And what I tell recruits and parents all the time is to just dial it back. Your job isn't to be the first one to pick their school, or you know, to pick your school because all of your friends have, or to pick your school because you want to get this process over with. You know, your job is really to take your time to investigate your options and your opportunities as well as you can, to develop your skills, and to make your college decision when it makes sense for you at the right time for you. So there is no one-step timetable that's going to work for everybody. If you get a scholarship offer, an offer from a particular school, chances are good, and you're getting pressure. This offer's out there for a week, I want to know, and it's early in your junior year, and you're not ready to decide, and you haven't even taken your SATs yet and know what your options could be. Chances are pretty good if you've gotten one offer, you're going to get another offer. So, you know, I tell kids, don't give in to the fear, don't, you know, parents, just try and dial it back. Things are going to work out as they should. Opportunities are going to come for you. So that would be a big
Thank you. Thank you.
Jack?
You're going to find a school that is right for you, and make sure that you do it for the right reasons. Academics are first, and you want to be well-rounded. Just because your parents want you to go to this school, it may not be the right one for you. And what I would always tell my guys is, let me ask you a question. If you become injured or become disenchanted, and I've had state champions sit right across from my desk and say, Coach, I'm done. Are you happy with where you're at and the education you're getting? I can't answer that. Your parents can't answer that. Only you can answer that. So I know it's tough for a 16, 17, 18-year-old young student athlete to consider, especially when you're there with the coach and you've been all this and all that. But it's not for everybody. So consider that, okay?
Thank you, Jack. That's terrific. Dave?
Well, we've talked a lot about sports, but I think there's a lot more to the college experience than just playing sports. It's going to be a really important part of the process for a lot of you. But also, as you're going through the college search process, think about what else you want to fit into your college experience. And the reason I ask that is because you may not be able to fit all of that into your experience at some schools or within some programs. Study abroad, is that important to you? You may be able to do it and play a sport at some schools. You may not be able to do it at some other places. Do you want to play another sport? Do you want to be involved in other groups or other kinds of activities? All those things are going to be important in your decision, and it's important that you keep this whole process in perspective and that it's about you. And again, I think as Chris said, I mean, it seems that a lot of the time that the focus is on the coaches and the administrators and other people who seem to have your fate in their hands, but it's about your 4 years of school. It's about what you want to do, and don't lose focus of that.
People often ask me, how do you know if you've been successful by the number of NCAA teams you're in, or the GPAs of your student athletes or a team? And I say, you know, ask me in 10 years how we did with this class in 2012. Ask me in 15 years how we did, and we'll see where they are, what they're doing with their lives, what kind of mom and dads they are, where they are in their careers, and what they've done with it. And I say to each of you, study that at the schools and see what those graduates have done and what they've done with their lives, because it's really the end game. It's more than the middle school here and the high school and the colleges. What does that all prepare them for life when they're 21 or 22 years old? What has prepared them best? Only less than 1/10 of 1% of student athletes have pro careers or maybe make an Olympic team. So when you think about that, we're all here to talk about what's going to happen to them when they're 21 and 22 years old. That's the most important thing. And then the second thing I'll say is don't give up the dream.
Terrific. Well, thank you very, very much. What a great job. Okay, we've just got a second panel now of some student athletes. This will be a bit shorter. Just got a couple of questions for these folks. Don't want to put them too much under pressure, but I'll introduce each of them if I could. I'll start with Jackie Calamaro. Jackie is a University of Illinois student. She's a collegiate golfer, class of 2014, is that right? 15, class of 2015. Jackie Calamaro, Radnor High School graduate. Matt Cherry, class of 2013, Dickinson College, graduate Radnor High School, lacrosse player. Max Camp, Delaware, University of Delaware, class of 2013, club soccer. And finally, Tyler Anderson, University of Notre Dame, class of 2013, lacrosse. So those of all the parents in the room know how hard, you can imagine how hard it was for me to convince these folks to come up here and speak publicly. I actually thought it was going to be harder than it turned out to be, and I really thank all four of you for agreeing to do it. You're displaying good leadership and great courage. So, as I've told you all, I've got 2 questions for each of you, and we'll just let you each take them on. And I'm going to start with you, Jackie, if you don't mind. Why did you choose to play sports in college at the level you did, Division I, Big Ten, golf? Why did you choose to play sports at that level?
Well, my first reason is because I love my sport. I think it's really important to love the sport that you're playing and make sure that that's what you want to be doing in college. I've seen a lot of other student athletes who don't particularly like what they're doing or are just kind of doing it to be there, and I think it's so important. I mean, I'm doing 20 plus hours a week of practice with people who are also doing the same thing that I'm doing, and it's really important to love the sport. And also, I picked Illinois because of the combination of academics and athletics. A lot of the people who were up here before, the coaches, really reiterated how important it is to remember that you're a student first and an athlete second. And just having a plan, I mean, I'm a golfer, so pro is kind of in the picture, but to have a backup plan is really huge. I'm an accounting major, and it's the second accounting school in the country, ranking-wise. So making sure that you're picking it because the academics are really good, and then also making sure that you like the team and the coach, because you're going to be spending a lot of time with them. So.
Terrific, great. Matt, having known you for a while, I know that you were recruited as a lacrosse player at all various levels of college, Division I, Division II, Division III. You chose Dickinson, Division III. What drove that decision making for you?
Yeah, well, my main thing was I wanted to go to the best academic school possible. And so after going on, I think it was 12 visits to all different kinds of levels, Division I and Division III, picked Dickinson just for its academic, academic just area. To add on to that, the skill level in Division III is a little less than Division I, but I wanted to play. So in Division I, where I could have been playing, maybe my junior and senior year, I go to Division III and I got to play my freshman year. That saying though, the skill level Division III is pretty tough, so I had to earn my spot on the team. So I'm not saying that Division III, if you want to go play Division III, it's going to be a lot easier, because it's not. So those two fields, academic and skill level, I got to play in my freshman year Division III, which helped out a lot with my decision.
Terrific, great. And Max, you're an accomplished soccer player here at Radnor, and I imagine you had some opportunities. You chose to go to the University of Delaware, and you're playing club lacrosse, which is, I think a lot of parents don't actually understand how many major colleges have club programs in sports like soccer, lacrosse, so on and so forth. And tell us about how you chose to do that at Delaware.